a story about forgiveness and about even you and my relationship. I left home when I was 14 and didn't really come back to you until after high school and college. And even in spite of that time that we were apart and there was really a lot of hard things that we lived, I feel like we were close.
Oh yeah, it's better than it's ever been. But it's been a rough journey up to this point. And part of that come from the choices that I made. And I married a man that was mentally ill, and was abusive, emotionally, physically, and did not treat you children like they should have. And he is mentally ill.
I agree with that.
And I stayed in that relationship way too long. But when you are born Amish and in the Mennonite church and whatever, you are raised that divorce is not right, and that it's almost an unforgivable sin. And so being the first marriage didn't go right, and then the second one, I seen it was going downhill. It just made me that much more hard-headed, I guess, to try to stick it out and do the best I could.
It seemed as though you were just hopeful he would do better. He would get better.
But he didn't, and he isn't even till today.
Right.
It's not any better.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we began to really understand that was your take on it, and we had to grieve out what we lost. Don't you agree?
Oh yes, absolutely.
The days and the way things went, we grieved that out, and we started fresh.
Yes, and that's where forgiveness comes in, and you have to be big enough to let a part of you die to forgive, and that's the way that works.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. And I think this story has been, the beauty of it is that in spite of all that we lived, we can love each other and be close. And not just me with you, but all of your children.
All of my children. And we've got a good relationship. And it's part of it is because of the rough times.
Yes.
When you can get over that and forgive each other. And I think part of my problem was my children didn't realize that my mother married me off to an old man, 10 years older than I was when I was 15. And then I had those 5 children, and I didn't get to finish high school. I wanted to go to Goldie Beacom College and become a legal secretary. I didn't get to do any of that, but God didn't mean for me to do that. He wanted me where I am at now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. And you were only 23 with 5 children, and then when you divorced at 29, our father, you had a 16-year-old. That can almost be hard to imagine. You were a young mother.
Yeah, by that time, Rosie was half the age that I was.
Right, at 32.
At 32, yes. And that's tough. But I've got 5 good children. They've got good homes. They're good people. They're raising good children, and I thank God.
Yeah, I know you do. So it is. It's a blessing, yeah, to be on this end. And we hope that this book that we are doing together is just going to be a blessing to everyone, because the life that you've lived has been meaningful. And God has taken what could have destroyed us and made it very good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I prayed for a friend, and God sent me Bill.
Yes. So you know what? Here you are in your 70s, and you think you have the best relationship you've ever had.
Ever had
right?
in my life, yeah.
Yes.
A true, honest friend.
Yes.
Who absolutely cares about everything.
Yeah.
My children, my work.
Yes. You have a good time, too. You laugh
yes,
a lot.
We do.
You laugh a lot.
Yes, we do. And he is as faithful. He comes and calls and is concerned, and and me for him the same way, and it's really been a blessing.
Yeah, I think it's neat how God has given you that after 22 years of being single.
Yeah.
We thought after Jack and all the mess that went with that was it for you.
Well, that soured me to the point where I didn't want.
You had been calling, didn't you? But
yeah.
You were like,
no.
So, yeah, and then God blessed you with Bill.
With Bill.
And now he has been the inspiration for this story.
Yes, he is.
So
yes, he has.
That's been very good as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, thank you for sharing. I hope it's going to bring alive some of the things we've talked about as we've wrote down and worked together to
and
make
build
this
it
a
back
story
up.
that others can enjoy.
Right, right. Well, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Believe me. Sometimes I didn't think there was, but it's still come around.
It does.
If you do what's right, God blesses you.
He does.
Yeah. And he sure has.